Hey everyone, it's the Diplomat, and we are on part 37 of the Chris Watts Discovery read-through. And in this part, we will go through the additional mail that Chris received in jail. It looks like I was able to get through all of it, so I did not have to skip any, although some were a little bit more difficult to read. And then we will also go through a quite interesting affidavit sent by Shanann's friend, Sandra from North Carolina, who she knew in her earlier days. She worked with and had a good relationship with, and then she got to see and speak to a while about things when she was visiting in North Carolina. So I think you'll find that extremely interesting. First, I just want to say thank you so much to all of your support for Buster, who's the dog of my brother's family that will be going in for surgery soon. For those that donated, thank you so much. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. To see you support a family member of mine who you don't even know is... I don't have the words to explain my gratitude and appreciation. I was a little hesitant to do it, but I see a lot of you have rescued dogs and are very appreciative to have the opportunity. So thank you so much, and thank you on behalf of my brother and his family. We will keep you all updated as he goes in for surgery, and hopefully that all goes well. But I will give you updates and hopefully updated picture and even video if I can. So with that, let's get into it. Okay, starting on page 884, we have more mail to Christopher Watts. This one is from Michelle at NBC News, August 27th, 2018. Dear Mr. Watts, I'm Michelle with NBC Network News. I'm currently in Colorado working on your case for NBC's Today Show, NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, and our primetime news magazine programs. I know through experience the real story is far different from initial reports. While I am eager to hear your side of the story, I know the timing is very important for your case and don't want to do anything that could impact the outcome. I would like you to put me on your visitor list so I can meet you. This meeting would be completely confidential and off the record. It's simply an opportunity to introduce myself and let you know what you can expect if you choose to do an interview with us. Here's the information jail personnel asked me to provide. It has all of her information, address, and such. Thank you for your time. I look forward to speaking with you in the near future. Sincerely, Michelle. So this next piece of mail is from Laurel, addressed to Weld County Jail, inmate number 360519. That's Watts. Hello, Chris. I just wanted to write and say hello and introduce myself. I know you're going through a tough time right now, and I hope this letter gives you some hope. I currently live in Hawaii on the island of Maui, but am from Longmont originally. I used to be a professional snowboarder back in the day and moved here in 2005. As I write this, we are currently in the middle of a hurricane, so no work today. Equivalent to good old snow day, LOL. The media has built it up to be this something crazy storm, but only getting a little rain. So anyway, a little about me. I work for a vacation rental company, and we have about 20 condos we rent. It's a pretty boring job. I absolutely love the Broncos, and my favorite music includes Deftones, Jane's Addiction, Filter, and Stick Figure, which is reggae. I'm a single mother with one daughter, and I also have a baby grandson. I'm hoping to move back to Colorado in the next 6 months. I lived in Aspen, Snowmass Village, for about 10 years and called that area home. My goal is reaching out to you is to hopefully form a pen pal friendship and give you something to do, and to maybe look forward to receiving my letters. I'm an optimistic person and try to find the good in a situation. I'm sure that deep down you are a wonderful, interesting, and decent man. I like humor and jokes and know firsthand that a good hearty laugh can lift your spirits. I'd be happy to send you funny and interesting articles and pictures. You must be bored. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, I've included a return envelope, paper, and hope to hear back from you anytime. I've put a couple of pictures from my town so you can see where I live. I write to you in strict confidence and promise to keep it that way. Know that I'm saying a prayer for you and everyone else, and you will get through this. I have to say, I feel like I've met you before, maybe in Longmont or Aspen. Were you ever over here on Maui, in Maui recently? So strange, but I feel we've crossed paths somewhere. In any case, I'm happy to be some support for you. Okay, take care, and aloha for now. Your friend, Laurel. I'm on your side. Everyone needs someone in their corner. Do they let you have a TV? Do you need books to read or magazines or even a Bible? Let me know. I can help send those to you. So next we have Kristen to Chris Watts, and for some reason this one has a picture of the back of the envelope too. Not sure why. Okay, Chris. Oh, this is August 27th. Chris, hey. Let me just start this out by addressing the elephant in the room. No, I'm not a creeper or crazy. I think, LOL. I've toyed with writing this not only because of the obvious, you won't get it. You do get it, but don't read it. You do get it, read it, but throw it in your stainless steel toilet/sink combo. The list of possibilities are endless. Sorry if this sounds a little difficult. This is handwritten and a little difficult to read. But because my worst fears will finally be realized, and I am in fact crazy. But that's a debate for another letter. Right now, let's get to the purpose of this one. Keep your head up. You're in the think tank right now, designed to make even the strongest suffer. Just laying there, dwelling on shit, feeling hopeless and lost. Was the same for me. Our stories are different and our specific feelings are gonna vary. But for me, I sat in my own room, alone and scared, playing my shit over and over, trying to come to terms that because of a decision I made, someone was dead. Not knowing what was going to happen after was a close second on my list of what the fucks. Society tries to push a standard set of beliefs on everyone. Society says that there is a correct way to love, to grieve, to be sorry for something. And if you don't react and deal with events in your life correctly, then it's wrong. Only twits and people with a low capacity of understanding think that way. And unfortunately for us, that's the majority of America. I mean, look who our president is. We've made better decisions. I did not vote because I was in prison, FYI. And we've made worse. America, I mean. The media has turned your situation into a national frenzy, my friend. And if you're not sobbing and ripping out your hair, you're not grieving. And if you're not grieving openly, you have no remorse. Fuck that, fuck them. They don't know. Hell, I don't know about you, but I know what I looked like on the outside was a lot prettier than what was going on the inside. Like some days I feel like I look like Marilyn Monroe, but if you flipped me inside out, I'd look like Honey Boo Boo. Or maybe it's the other way around. Spoiler alert, I look like neither of those two examples in any kind of way. It's going to get a lot harder before it gets any better, and people you thought would be in your corner won't. In fact, most of the people who start this with you won't be there in the end. Just know that you aren't completely alone. If this letter ends up in a Colorado sewer, at least take that from it. I'd like you to write me back, I got all this wit and wisdom to get out, or I could possibly implode. I think we could benefit from having a good mental companionship. I know I go through it here sometimes, OMG. I forgot to tell you, I'm in prison. That totally slipped my mind. Shows you how often I write people. I don't know, but see on TV. Sheesh. Honestly, I write my mom and 2 other people I met in here, and I knew before I got arrested. I was on the fence about even writing. It's one of the few firsts I got left at 36. They say it's the new 26, but I think that's just something we tell ourselves to not feel so old. Like when you tell an ugly person it's what's on the inside that counts, which is something I never say to an ugly person to make them feel better. I mean, I'd say something to make them feel better, just not that. I mean, there's no such thing as ugly-ish. Anyway, the gist is I'm old, and I've done a lot of stupid shit. I've never been told it's what's on the inside that counts, but I have been told I can't depend on my looks forever, and one time my dad said I was a succubus sent to suck the lives out of all men. What can you do? I hope you got this, read it, and found it to be at least some small relief from all that you are dealing with. Hopefully you want to write. I got pics and stuff for the future, and I only ask one thing. Until after you're sentenced, and only if you choose to talk about it. I don't want to know about what happened. I will never ask you either. Just so you know. I'd like to something write, I guess, keep writing as friends, and help you through all this. I saw the deep breath you took when they read your charges, and I know how alienating this process can be. Even if it's just jokes and BS, a letter can make a day brighter. No matter what, keep your head up. You'll always be in my thoughts and prayers, and remember, it's what's on the inside that counts. LOL. Jake, just kidding. Always, Kristen. P.S. All envelopes must be addressed like such and such. Gotta have the hashtag always. Not only white paper, no pics or drawings, blue or black ink. Okay, next is from Ashley, and it's very short. It just says, Chris, may I write to you? And then it has a checkbox for yes, a checkbox for no, and it's Ashley. And next, the name on this one is redacted. You are vile. You are a monster. Do you and your defense truly believe you have the slightest possibility of passing your pathetic lie off to a jury? You are a cheat. You are a liar who can stand in front of a TV camera and lie through your teeth. And you are a murderer of a beautiful pregnant woman and her 2 adorable children. It will not take a jury 2 seconds to see through your BS. You are already being called a psychopath, and psychopaths usually end up rotting in jail. Let me tell you your future. You will be found guilty and will be sentenced to 3, possibly 4, consecutive life terms in prison. I'm quite certain you will think that is your justice, or rather your victim's justice, which will not be entirely true. Your punishment is going to be fully realized when the other inmates learn what you did. They could have committed violent crimes unimaginable, but child abusers and child murderers are considered the lowest form of scum on the earth. Your physical abuse will be horrific from the top gang members where you are housed, and that abuse will also be brutal. Sounds terrifying, doesn't it? And you will be living it 24/7 for 3 consecutive life sentences. One last question before you go back to your slow, miserable death. Were your victims staring you in the face while you strangled or suffocated them? May God have mercy on your pathetic soul. No one else will. Okay, next is also redacted. Let's get a name. Tony. This is Tony. August 30th, 2018. Hey, Chris. I know that this is a difficult time for you, and I couldn't even begin to imagine what it's like right now. All I can do is reach out and offer strength, friendship, and condolences. You don't know me. My name is Tony, and I live in New York. I work for a digital agency in New York City. I'm decent looking, and I'm a hard worker. Even though something in New York, I still seem to live a lonely life, and has been hard to connect with people. I go to New York Health and I've been working out. That's one of the reasons I'm reaching out. They are broadcasting a lot of footage on TV about you. I noticed your incredible transformation. You really hit the gym hard and made some amazing changes. I am very inspired and would love to know your routine. I am more on the skinny side, but I bulk up. I bulk up, I'm really excited about my body as it gets stronger. I'm writing you to offer you friendship if you like. We can write each other if you like to read. I can send you books from Amazon. Let's see what happens, Tony. Okay, next page looks like it's from Tammy again to Christopher Watts, Wednesday, August 29th. Dear Chris, I imagine you might be getting a lot of mail, hopefully not all negative. I wrote to you a few weeks ago and haven't heard back, so maybe you are not interested in writing right now. I completely understand, but I told you I'd send some actual photos, not ones printed on paper. I feel bad for you because of all the nasty stuff they are saying in the media, but like I said before, I don't want to discuss your case. I'm just here to be your friend. I'm just a simple girl, live in a small town, have a successful career, lots of friends, and a great family. Why is someone as pretty as me single and writing to someone in jail? As far as being single, I've recently come out of a bad breakup. I travel quite a bit for my job, and don't laugh, I'm finishing up my master's in psychology, which has taken me quite a few years to accomplish. Whether I ever practice in the field isn't what drives me to finish. It's just being able to say I did it. My ex wanting to get serious really quick, and there's no pretending for me. If it's not working, it's time to make a change. I love my independence, but also enjoy all my great friends and spending time with them. I can tell you more if you'd like to know, but for now I just wanted you to know someone was thinking about you and not all like the monster they portray you to be. I hope you enjoy the pictures. As you can tell, some of them I'm blonde and some dark hair, which is my natural color. I went through one of those phases where I wanted a change, but then got tired of it. LOL. Anyways, stay strong. You have a real friend if you want one. I just may keep writing until I hear from you. Until then, take care, Tammy. P.S. I'm only allowed to put 4 pictures in each envelope, so maybe I'll send a few more just with pictures in the envelope. Then next pages we have some more pictures of Tammy. Okay, next page we have another letter from Laurel from Hawaii again, September 1st. Aloha, Chris. I hope this letter finds you in somewhat good spirits today. Remember, there is always hope, and today might be that day that brings you a bit of good news. I'm totally on your side. I hope you received my letter from last week. I just basically wanted to introduce myself and offer some friendship from over here in Hawaii. To give you an update, here, the hurricane that was barreling down on us never hit our island, and we just got some really crazy hurricane winds whipped through and a little rain. Dang, I was hoping for more upheaval. LOL, no luck. As I mentioned before, I'm an NFL fan, and although the Broncos suck right now, I've kind of started liking the LA Rams. They have Wade Phillips, my fave, and Talib. Doesn't it seem he belongs in LA? Yes, I do like him though. Is there an NFL team you like? I hope you have a TV. And I love Seinfeld reruns, OMG. If there are any newspapers or magazines you would like, I'm happy to send those to you. Crossword puzzles, etc. Anything to keep you busy and your mind sharp. Up at the top in the margins it says, shoots. Didn't know that's not allowed. Sorry, but feel free to call collect if you need to ever. Oh, that was, she had given a cell number. I know that I've personally have done quite a few things in my life that no one would ever believe, and I'm sure I would be in jail, but please believe me, we all get a second chance. Do not be discouraged by the media, because we all know our country has a very short attention span, and this will be old news in a few weeks. Promise. I'm sorry, Laurel, you're wrong about that. So, moving forward, I will only send you funny and positive articles of comics. I'm not sure you really want to hear about my life on Maui or not. I think it's weird, no matter where you are in your life, there is always something better that you can have. Or is that just me? I struggle to be happy and content, but can't. I've always want what I can't have, mostly just living anywhere, but here, Hawaiians hate white people. I don't know what that means. So much hatred in Hawaii. Okay, so much for my rant, and no sympathy for me, I know. I'm not expecting to hear back from you, at least not yet, and I totally understand. And my purpose in writing to you is solely to give you a glimmer of hope and maybe a laugh or smile. Things have a way of turning around. Try to keep your thoughts positive, my dear. You can get through this. Till next week, keep the faith. Your friend, Laurel. Okay, the next one is from Ruby. This one is going to be a little difficult to read, but I think I can make it out. It says you're not alone on the back. It's September 4th. Dear Chris, my name is Ruby, and I have been watching everything about your case. Wow. You have gone through so much. I was so mad at you for what you did. But the more I watched, the more I understood you. Not saying what you did was a good thing. I have seen lots of videos about you and your family. I feel for you. I really, really do. I've seen some videos that truly pissed me off. The way Shanann treated you was belittling and made you feel like, in quotes, not a man. I'm sad for you that you just didn't walk away. I can say this, though. Satan is out tempting so many of us. It's not easy living life these days. And we are so close to the return of Jesus Christ, I can taste it. I've been studying the Bible and prophecy for 5 years now, and he is hurting so many people. I can say this, it's not too late, Chris. I can imagine how you're feeling at this moment, having nothing but time on your hands. If you would like to write, that would be great. I will never share what you write. I'm not something to make a buck, but I'm trying to save a soul. Something like that. Please feel free to write. I'd love to hear from you. By the way, I don't hate you. You're my brother in Christ, Ruby. Blessings in this times of trouble. Okay, the next is from Tammy again to Chris. This is Tuesday, September 4th. Dear Chris, they sent back the 2 pictures that I printed off the computer because they were more than a 5x7. But I hope you at least got your letter. And hopefully you got the recent letter with the 4 pictures. From what I understand, you are alone because of all the media attention, which I'm sure makes everything that much worse. I know you must be sad being where you are, which is why I keep writing to hopefully give you a little something positive to hopefully eventually look forward to. I want you to know this. Our writing would stay between us. I'm not looking for anything other than to be your friend when what seems like the whole world has turned against you. Even if you just write and say hi, I'd like that. Here are a few more pictures, all of which I hope will be for your eyes only. Please know I'm thinking of you. Write when you feel like it. I have a home number through my cable company, but I'm not sure you can make collect calls, but you can try. I'm not always home, so if you do call and I don't answer, you can try again. It gives the phone number. Take care, Tammy. And then another picture, or a couple pictures of Tammy. Four pictures of Tammy. Okay, this one is from Sandra. Presented and prepared by Sandra. Regarding my personal conversations with Shanann Watts, our visits include the dates of July 17, 2020. Our visits include the dates of July 17, 20, 24, and 31 of 2018. I completely realize that at this time, anything I could add is completely hearsay and possibly inadmissible. However, considering what has transpired of late and per the request of her parents, I am providing parts of my personal conversations with Shanann that I feel may be possibly relevant to the case during the time we shared during her recent trip to North Carolina for consideration in an effort to assist with only what I was made aware of by Shanann. So this letter was actually addressed to Weld County District Attorney from Sandra. So that's important to know. This was not directed to Chris. I have known Shanann since she was about 15 years old. I met her and her mother, father, and brother when she worked for my family's restaurant as a hostess in Southern Pines. She later worked for our family's second restaurant location in Pinehurst in the same capacity. We became very close and bonded as close friends during her younger years, easily fast friends. She considered me an elder confidant, and I was more than happy to oblige her when she needed someone to reach out to for advice. We remained friends after her employment in my family's restaurants. Later, I helped her get a job at A1 Wireless, where we worked for a short time. I had not seen her in person since she moved to Colorado. Nonetheless, we kept in touch online through the years. During her recent visit to North Carolina in July 2018, she reached out to me and wanted to spend some time with me one-on-one while she was here. As you can imagine, I was so excited to see her again and the opportunity to finally meet the girls to whom I watched grow online all through their years. We set a date for dinner for Tuesday, July 17th. She wanted to have some one-on-one time with me to talk and catch up, and she scheduled her mother to watch the girls during our dinner date. Tuesday, July 17th, 2018. We met up at my family's restaurant in Southern Pines approximately 6:30 p.m. We sat on the patio and had dinner. Conversation started off like any other we had, with pleasantries and how good it was to see each other, how much we had missed each other. She appeared to be very happy, absolutely glowing with pregnancy. During our meal, we discussed her family life. She said she was so happy, loved being a mom, wife, and excited in the success of her business and where it was heading. Along in conversation, I asked her how her relationship has developed with her mom, particularly now that she was a mom herself. She said that she understands her mother now more than ever. They have always been close, but now closer than ever, and how thankful she was to have a mom like her guiding her through. Then she offered, in quotes, "My mother-in-law and sister-in-law is a different story altogether," end quote. Curious, and seeing obviously that she wanted to touch on that, I asked her, how so? She began to tell me how her mother-in-law and sister-in-law have clearly been unaccepting of her throughout her relationship with her husband. How difficult it was for her and Chris to cope with it. She said her mother-in-law particularly tries to undermine her as a wife and mother any chance she could find. I asked her how her father-in-law reacted to her mother-in-law and sister-in-law's position. She said he was a wonderful man and was good to her, but she could see that it was her mother-in-law that, in quotes, ruled the roost, end quote. And she felt that her father-in-law would just brush off his wife's and daughter's opinion. She said her sister-in-law does and acts in whatever manner her mother-in-law expects of her when it pertains to Shanann. I asked her how Chris handled the situation. She said that Chris was her rock, always supportive, always put her and the girls first, and she felt that was a real tension between her and her mother-in-law and sister-in-law. Her mother-in-law and sister-in-law were crystal clear with her and have told her on many occasions that she would never be, in quotes, good enough for Chris. That she drags Chris around, and that she did not truly love Chris, and Chris deserved so much better. She added that her mother-in-law and sister-in-law blame her for taking Chris so far away from them to Colorado. She said that Chris was so happy to move, that her mother-in-law was not exactly a nurturing mother to Chris as a child and teen, more possessive and controlling than anything, in quotes. Even through adulthood, and that he was just so ready to get far away from the negativity they place in his life. Disheartened to say the least, not having ever met her in-laws, to know any different than what Shanann was confiding in me, and knowing Shanann the way I do, I could not imagine anyone not embracing her. I told her how sad I was for her and for Chris, and that they were made to live and deal with such animosity from his family. I assured her that whatever feelings her mother-in-law and sister-in-law have for her, So long as Chris stands by her and the girls, then that is all that really matters. I suggested that she let Chris lead the way in dealing with his family and their issues with her. She said her heart breaks for Chris each time they come down on him about her because she sees firsthand how it hurts him and affects their marriage. To add insult to injury, Shanann then added that her mother-in-law has done what she could through the years to make her daughters, Bella and Cece, feel, in quotes, less than throughout their lives. Shanann said she felt like her mother-in-law would go through the motions of being a good grandmother for Chris's sake, but could see the actions outweighed the words. Same applied to her sister-in-law. I asked Shanann for an example. She said, "Oh girl, so many." But to provide the latest example was that despite knowing how her mother-in-law and sister-in-law felt about her, and even though Chris was not yet in North Carolina to join her, she did not want to deprive her daughters of as much time they could spend with his family during her visit. So Shanann arranged a visit with them. I understand that this was sometime during the week before our dinner together. She said the visit seemed to be going along smoothly at first. However, Shanann felt the tension in the air and that their ill feelings about her and how they interact with Bella and Cece was still fresh with them. She said that she kept a brave face and positive attitude during her visit, hoping this visit could work towards building bridges with her mother-in-law and sister-in-law and bring some peace. She said that they had lunch, I believe on the patio, hot dogs if I remember correctly, and that after lunch her mother-in-law had Bella and Cece follow her into the kitchen for some dessert. Shanann heard the girls getting excitable, possibly out of hand, and out of motherly curiosity Shanann went into the kitchen to check on them and found that her mother-in-law was handing the girls a small bowl of ice cream. Shanann noticed some pieces of something in the ice cream. Shanann asked her mother-in-law if the ice cream had nuts in it, and her mother-in-law responded, "Yes, just a little." Shanann was stunned and told her girls, in quotes, "I am sorry, girls, you cannot eat that," end quote. Her mother-in-law followed in, trying to hand the girls the bowls of ice cream, and having not looked up at Shanann, and said to the girls, in quotes, "Oh, your mommy doesn't know what she's talking about. This ice cream couldn't hurt you," end quote. At that point, Shanann apologized to the girls and sent them out of the kitchen without the ice cream. Shanann said to her mother-in-law once they were alone, in quotes, "You know that they are deathly allergic to all nuts. It can send them into an anaphylactic shock. I do not understand how you think it is okay to give them ice cream with nuts in it. Please respect their dietary restrictions, and to please ask me first when offering any food to the girls, and I will let you know if they can eat what you are offering," end quote. Her mother-in-law waved her hand in dismissal at Shanann and told Shanann that she was just being overprotective as usual, and passed her by to head back out to where her sister-in-law was with the girls. Frustrated, Shanann followed her mother-in-law out of the kitchen. Shanann said it was so hard for her not to raise her voice, but said she did not want to create a scene with her in-laws in front of the girls, so she bit her tongue from saying anything further and followed her mother-in-law out of the kitchen to where the girls were visiting with her sister-in-law. Shanann noticed that when they rejoined the girls and sister-in-law, that her sister-in-law abruptly got up and went into the house. About 5 or so minutes further into their visit from that point, Bella told her mother she was thirsty, so Shanann went into the kitchen to get her something to drink. She said she was floored to find her sister-in-law placing a large bowl of mixed nuts on the kitchen table, in clear reach of the girls. She asked her sister-in-law why she would do that. Her response to Shanann was, in quotes, "We always have nuts out on the kitchen table," end quote. Shanann told her, in quotes, "I was just in here and there were no nuts on the table. You know how allergic the girls are of nuts," end quote. Shanann told me she was so upset, hurt, shocked, and amazed that they both would try to offer her girls nuts directly and indirectly, that she felt that her only course of action was to simply collect the girls and go home to her parents' house. Shanann said that despite their actions, she informed them of Cece's upcoming birthday party, time, place, and asked them to please be there, that it would mean so much to the girls and Chris if they could make it. With that, Shanann left with the girls. Of course, I was shocked to hear this as well. I asked her if she has spoken to Chris about the incidents, and she said yes. He was not happy at all about it and would speak to them. Shanann added that prior to her visit with her in-laws that she was considering allowing the girls an overnight visit with them. She said that after the incident with the nuts that she could just not trust it. She decided that she would not take the girls back to their house without Chris present. She asked me my opinion in that, did I feel she may be wrong about not going back to their house until Chris was with them. I advised no. In quotes, your first and foremost priority as a parent is to protect your children, that you should never feel or be made to feel guilty in being a protective mother. I offered that they should have known better, and it was clear to me from the incident, Shanann explained, that they do not respect her as a mother and were dismissive of the girls' health issues, that I understand from Shanann that they were fully aware of all along. I told Shanann if it were me, I surely would not take my children back there alone or leave them alone with them for any reason. From there, we continued our conversation, talking about old times and old memories and where our lives are today. Friday, July 20th, 2018. I attended the Thrive event at Kickback Jack's. Shanann snapped a selfie with me during the event. After the event, we remained together with a few of her friends and had a wonderful time enjoying some girly time with her friends. She did not speak of anything that may be of concern to her during that time, just that she was looking forward to next Tuesday to pick up where we left off in our conversation. Tuesday, July 24th. We had our second one-on-one dinner at my family's restaurant in the Southern Pines. We met up around 6:30 p.m. and sat in the main dining room. As conversation went underway, I asked her how Cece's birthday party went. She said it was wonderful. The girls had so much fun. They were so happy with the party, that the girls were missing their daddy and wished he was there as she did. She then said, in quotes, guess who did not show up, end quote. Shanann informed that Chris's family did not make it to the party. They did not call or text to let her know that they would not make it. Shanann said she texted and called them several times during the party to see if they remembered and to assure they knew where to go and what time the party was. Shanann said that they never responded to her calls or texts. Shanann told me how sad she was for the girls that they did not make it to the party. Shanann vented to me, in quotes, it does not matter how they feel about me personally. There is no excuse for them to not make it to the party for the girls, end quote. Shanann further added that she had a feeling that they did not come because Shanann declined allowing the girls an overnight visit in lieu of the nuts incident, that they knew Chris would not be at the party, and that it was their way of retaliation towards Shanann. Shanann was clearly quite hurt that they were a no-show. I asked her if she had spoken to Chris to let him know that they were not at the party, and she said yes, that Chris said he was upset by it and he would talk with them. I offered for her not to dwell on it further. It was their loss in my opinion, and to just let Chris handle it. I advised her to stay positive and not allow their behavior to affect her heart negatively, bring her down on her trip, and to just enjoy the people who enjoy her and the girls in return. Shanann said that she was trying her best and would continue to try, but it just hurts so bad that they think so little of her that they would take it out on the girls. She then added, in quotes, do you remember last week when I said I would not go back to their house to visit with the girls without Chris? I said yes. She then said, I've decided that it would be best for the girls and Chris if I did not go with them. End quote there. During their visit to her in-laws. Chris can take the girls for a visit when he gets here if he still wants to after how they treated our girls, end quote. I asked her if she thought maybe it would be better for Chris and the girls if they could provide a united front together as a family and go with them to her in-laws if she would reconsider. She said she sees my point, but that she did not want to be there in their negative tension while Chris and the girls are spending time with them. She said that it may be the best thing she can do for them in an effort for Chris and the girls to have a positive visit. She knows that considering their recent behavior with the nuts, that Chris will be all over it where the girls are concerned. She said that she just wished her mother-in-law and sister-in-law would just get over it already. Wished that they would accept that they have a great marriage, beautiful, little happy girls, and a new baby on the way to look forward to. We planned a third dinner date for the following Tuesday after Chris came to town. She was excited for me to finally meet Chris and the girls. It would be Chris and the girls' first time at my family's restaurant, and she was excited to share with them because she had so many happy memories to share with them of her time working there. Tuesday, July 31st. I set a reservation for them at my family's restaurant for 6 p.m. I was held up at home waiting to sign for a package. I headed out to the restaurant to meet up with Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Chris around 6:30 p.m. Their apps were served by the time I arrived. I sat next to Chris across from Shanann, Bella, and Cece in their booth. It was so nice to finally meet them, especially all together as a family. The girls were clearly happy to see their daddy. They were bubbly, excitable, smiling, bright, and enjoying their buttery noodles. Chris was quiet. I felt unassuming, did not say much, but when we spoke of the possibility of a baby boy on the way, he lit up with a smile. It appeared to me that he was happy to be back in the company of his wife and girls, just not a man of many words. We all went to the lobby to visit just a pinch longer, considering this would be my last time seeing them for a long while. If there was trouble in paradise for them, they did a wonderful job hiding it. I did not get any negative vibes or urges of concern from or about him or from Shanann or the girls in relation to him. For all intents and purposes, they were a happy family looking forward to a quick trip to the beach before they headed home to Colorado. Shanann, with girls and husband in tow, kept the conversation light and airy. She did not bring up any family issues and was just so happy to have Chris with them in North Carolina after having been apart those past weeks. About 9 p.m. or so, we said our farewells. Shanann snapped a picture of me and the girls in the restaurant waiting area, and then I walked them out. I had no inclination that I would never see them again. Later, she posted on Facebook that she felt very ill, thought it felt like she was experiencing symptoms of food poisoning. She later texted me with another self-diagnosis of dehydration. I chalked it up as side effects of the pregnancy. I had no idea or could have ever expected that just a few short weeks later I would hear that they went missing and then murdered, and that Chris confessed to killing them all. My heart and mind just kept going back to my one-on-one conversations with Shanann during our dinner dates and the trouble she had been having with her in-laws, past and present, wondering would any of it be connected. I wondered how much of what Shanann confided in me about her in-laws was shared with her mother, father, brother, or close friends while she was visiting North Carolina. I do not know if any of us will ever truly have all the information about exactly what occurred. What we do know is that Shanann, Bella, and Cece and the unborn baby Nico Lee are gone to us all, and that they deserved so much better than to lose their lives in such a violent manner at the hand of pure evil. In bold, I do not care to, nor will I speak to any media outlet on this matter in any capacity for any reason. I respectfully request that the information, all details of this affidavit, not be shared with any media outlet in any format for any reason. I provide this affidavit strictly for the insight it could provide. I, like her family and many friends, seek justice for Shanann, Bella, Cece, and their unborn son, Nico Lee, the four precious souls Chris so selfishly and violently robbed this world of. Respectfully, Sandra. August 20th, 2018. That was really interesting. I mean, just when you think you kind of knew and heard the story of the nut incident, over and over again, Sandra really shed some additional light on this as it came from Shanann. And certainly there seemed to be a lot more to it than I think what we've heard with, his mom actually having the ice cream ready to go for them. In other words, she was handing it to them. That was something that I did not realize. Also, the sister-in-law going back and taking nuts and putting them on the counter. It is an undermining, as she had said, but also it's almost like they were toying with her to just get under her skin and get at her, and also show that they don't believe what she was saying about their medical issues. Right or wrong, you respect the mother, you respect the wife of your son or brother. That's the end of it. You let your son or your brother handle that and deal with that. You keep yourself out of it. If she says they can't have nuts, they can't have nuts. End of story. Whether it's true, whether it's not true, whether you think they're overreacting, whether you think they're not, you respect it. And again, you let the son or brother deal with it. That's not your job. And I think you can see that there was that disrespect. There was that, pushing themselves to be more involved than they should have. And quite frankly, using it to send messages to Shanann that they don't like her. Basically, I'm going to disrespect what you're asking me. I'm showing you that I don't respect you. I don't like you. This whole thing with his family is, I believe, so much deeper than we realize. The impact on her, the impact on him, their relationship. It's almost like it was broken apart because of them. Now, normally that would probably end in divorce. You see what happened here. I wonder if that family has any guilt regarding their involvement with this whole situation. They weren't there. They weren't the ones causing the murders to happen directly, but they had an involvement. And I just don't see the self-reflection type of demeanor from these folks. You see, after the incident, Shanann goes off and talks to people about it. She wants to know, what could I have done better? Am I right or wrong in this situation? She shared it with so many people. That's a reflection of Shanann being insightful, self-aware, and trying to help the situation. I don't think the Watts family thinks that way. I don't think they go off and feel bad about the situation and say, yeah, did I do something wrong here? I just don't think they think that way. So it's really just unfortunate that they had opportunity to help this situation, and instead they heard it. In loving memory of Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico, and God please bless the Rusek family. Keep them safe. Keep them under your care. This is The Diplomat. Have a great day.